Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Leaf Heart Path. My name is Andrea Graham. I am an intuitive healer, a Reiki and cord cutting practitioner, and a tarot card reader. If any of these services sound interesting to you, you can check out booking details in the description box below. This week's pick a card reading is all about members of your soul family. When I talk about soul family, I'm referring to individuals who are part of your heart, or those who you are slated to cross paths with, or those who leave a large impression on you in your lifetime. Sometimes we have a contract with these individuals before incarnating here, if that is something that you believe in. And this reading is going to give you a description who some of these soul family individuals are, how you might meet them, and what is the purpose behind you crossing paths. So as you can see, we have 4 piles for you to choose from today. Pile 1 is marked with a yellow flower bud. Pile 2, tourmalinated quartz crystal. Pile 3, a pressed penny. Pile 4, red aura quartz. Take a moment to center yourself, take a deep breath, relax, and see which pile you're the most drawn to. In all likelihood, you may be drawn to more than one pile, as there are multiple soul family members in each group. So therefore, you may feel a connection with 3 out of 5 members of group 1, and then perhaps 2 in group number 4. Choose as many or as few groups as you wish, and as always, I recommend starting with the group that has the biggest pull for you. Then come back and revisit this intro to see if any of the other groups still have a message for you. Timestamps and chapters are listed in the description box and video bar below. You can pause this should you need more time to choose. I will see you over in your video. Hello, group 1. If you picked this yellow rosebud, then you are in the right place for your soul family reading. This reading is going to be broken up into 3 different parts. In the first part of the reading, we'll be examining characteristics and any other information that wants to come through regarding these soul family members. In the reading's second part, we'll be looking at possible ways that you two might meet. And in the third part of the reading, we'll be looking at any lessons that might be happening on your end, on their end, or that are happening between the both of you. Sort of a purpose behind your meeting. So let's take a look at your cards. We're going to hop right into it. So we have the 2 of Cups, King of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, very nice. Okay, group 1, let's start with the 2 of Cups. This particular energy is giving me the feeling of feminine friendships, or those with the energy of the divine feminine being of particular importance to you in this lifetime. This feels like really strong bonds for some of you, doing things with people who are very much like you. And what's being emphasized here to me is your uniqueness. This is a very unique group. These friendships, I think, highlight or celebrate that uniqueness. So if you're somebody who's ever felt a bit like an outsider, a little bit misunderstood, or like you don't totally fit in with so many others, first of all, A, it's because you're a unicorn, group 1, and B, you haven't run into your fellow unicorns yet. And I think this 2 of Cups card is signifying the presence of these people who are as magical and as rare as you are. They're out there. They're here in the 3D, and you all are going to have very beautiful relationships together. You may be meeting these people, I think, throughout your lifetime. I'm counting those little spheres back there, almost like phases of the moon or phases of time. So therefore, you may meet some of these fellow unicorns when you guys are youngsters. Maybe perhaps in teenage years, into your 20s, and then beyond. You likely already know some of them, I'm guessing, and it is likely you will continue to make some strong friendships of this nature throughout your lifetime. These friendships feel very, very rewarding for you. They feel uplifting, celebratory, and if you want to toss in astrology, it's possible they have water signs prominent in their charts, like Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or that could be you that we're talking about here. And also, you may enjoy spending time by the water, on the beach, sipping drinks, or getting a little bit of sunshine. Now, that's not going to be for everybody here, but it absolutely will be for some of you. Okay, and we're going to revisit this in just a minute. I want to go through all of the soul family members first. So let's look at the King of Wands. This is different right away. It's pretty intense energy, and this feels to me to be someone who's watching over you from the other side, is what I'm thinking. This is almost a protective stance, like a guard. This would be someone you know or are related to who has crossed over and is a guiding presence. So this could be an ancestor, a close relative, a family friend, or a friend you knew. Usually our loved ones don't act as guides so much on the other side, but this person has such a strong energy that I feel like they almost act not just as a member of your soul family, but also as a bit of a spirit guide for you, which is interesting. Some of you may have known this individual well, and others you did not. And if you didn't know them, you may have crossed paths with them briefly at one point or another early on, or for even some of you, and this is like a smaller group, I think this is an ancestor you do not know who's attached to you in such a way that they're coming through as part of your soul family. I am being pulled to talk about the light that's right here. This guiding light feels important to this individual. It's like it's part of their aura, it's part of their energy, and they're showing me that you have a similarly strong energy or a light within you, and it's like the color matches between you guys. That's really interesting. I feel like it's a way that you two seek one another out, consciously, unconsciously. It's like a way that you can find one another easily, sort of like lightning bugs flashing in specific patterns. And I really feel like if you're somebody who talks to yourself out loud, like you're someone who puzzles things out, or you talk yourself through your day, you may actually be receiving insights from this person. So you're hearing your own voice, but sometimes you might get a little bit of something from this individual. And some of you may actually hear them. They have a very, very powerful presence, and they want what's best for you. I'm getting a lot of pride surrounding you and what you have accomplished for yourself. Even if you don't feel like you've accomplished a lot to this point, there's still that sense of, oh, look at this person. They're doing really well. And I feel a lot of love. It almost feels like the love of a grandparent or a parental figure. And if you just keep doing your thing, you're going about your day, just know that they are watching over you and encouraging you on your journey. So don't be surprised if you see them in like little flashes of light, or if you get a feeling of warmth from them as you're drifting off to sleep or coming out of sleep. So that's a little unusual. When I'm doing soul family readings, I don't always get somebody who's crossed over, but that is the energy that is coming through for that person. And they wanted to talk to you today. Let's look at our next card. Our next person, member of your soul family. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, it's crowded in here. That is what is coming through here. This is like a carnival ride. Members of this group definitely have more of a transient nature. I see this as like a Ferris wheel. People are coming and going. I'm sort of seeing this like you have a very large soul family, group one. And so there may be a lot of people who enter your life at different points, and then they may stay for a while, and then you guys may go your separate ways. You know, not everyone who is in our life is meant to be there permanently, and instead we have memories to look back on, lessons we've learned, and perhaps our energy undergoes a bit of a shift as we get ready for the next person or the next group of people who are joining us. And the other way this is presenting is as just a bunch of souls on the other side who are clamoring to spend time with you. It's really interesting. It's like waiting in line at this amusement park for this ride, and it's like some of these souls are getting ready to be born and, yeah, to be part of your family. It's really, really interesting. So it's an incredibly large number that's coming through here. And some of them are blending together a bit. So I'm wondering if some of you here aren't in some kind of role in life where you're very visible to other people. So this would be like being a social media influencer or being in the public eye because of an occupation, having maybe even like a little level of fame in one sense or another, or again, just being seen, some kind of job where you are involved with the general public in a way that impacts and influences others. Like teachers, for example, this would for sure be part of your energy. All these students coming in to be with you for a year or so, and you might have a super tight bond with them for that time, and then you both go on your separate ways. So regardless of how you're making these connections, group one, please know that these people never forget what you have done for them. And then also for some of you, this could be your current or future babies. So I'm being told to mention this includes also fur babies, and it could be an entire Ferris wheel of little animals. So just bear that in mind for some of you. And also, if this is children, these members of your family could be biological, they could be adopted, they could be fostered, they could be both. So something to remember here as well is that the length of time that you are with somebody does not measure the depth of connection with these members of your soul family. So just bear that in mind. Okay, Ace of Cups. Okay, this is really interesting. This is making me feel like you have undergone some times that have been quite challenging for you, and that's when these particular soul family folks step in. And again, this does feel like multiples, so again, this is very crowded here in this reading. This isn't just a single person coming through with this healing cup here. These folks step in when times are tough, and they provide that healing to you, like a shoulder to cry on, someone who's maybe even walked in your shoes. And they again just have this very rare quality to them. They're sparkly. It's like a gem. So if you're here watching this video, it's likely that you have been through some tough times, group one. And I do want to send a gentle hug your way. You'll know who these people are because of the quality of their kindness, their gentleness, their ability to hold space for you. And what's unique about this is this feels like people to me where you can just sit down and you don't even necessarily need to talk. You can just sit in silence together. There's no awkwardness. There's no need to fill the void. It's like you're all part of some kind of unique experience that others can't see or they can't fathom. And it puts these soul family members in a position to really see you and to validate you. Maybe even to push you a little bit when you need it, a little kick in the pants. And some of these individuals may be part of this Two of Cups Unicorn Club. Some of them are going to be coming in at different times, just like this or like this. We talked about kind of having a large transient group here. Some will undoubtedly be there for life. These are the types of people where you don't need to talk every day. You may even go weeks or months without talking or seeing one another. And when you do, it's like no time has passed at all. I think these individuals are very good for you, group one, and they hold a very significant place in your soul family group and in your hearts. Okay. This girl, this one, yeah, she wants to talk. So you definitely know this person. You will know them if you haven't met them yet. So again, gender doesn't matter here. I'm calling them female right now because that's the way they're presenting, but just know that take this however it feels to you. This individual is super sassy, creative, likely quite beautiful, attractive. They know how to style themselves, or they have just a certain panache to them. And I feel like they don't bend for anyone. They're very likely to be rule breakers, rebels. They have a very unique voice, a very unique laugh, perhaps, for some of them. Beautiful hair or beautiful eyes or both. And I feel like this could be a very old relationship or friendship. It just has a lot of layers to it, is what I'm getting. And again, if you've just met this person, it will be a rich and multi-layered kind of experience for you. Regardless of the length of time you know this individual or knew them, they have a very strong impact in your life. I feel like things were not or aren't always going to be totally easy or smooth with them. There is a lot of growth happening with this individual. It's very fiery energy. So perhaps there is or will be or have been some misunderstandings from time to time, but there's absolutely love here. Absolutely. So this could be friendship or romance. And for some of you, this person is no longer in your life. And for a small portion of you, they may have actually crossed over as well. This person marches to the beat of their own drum. They shake things up, and they can be a little rigid about certain things, like perhaps their personal likes or dislikes. And there may even be something surrounding food with that. There may be something going on with food. This person, they have an artist's heart, and part of their gift to the world isn't just that creativity, but it's the way they express themselves. They're very steadfast in their views, and I think they have a very unique way in which they see things. There may be some impulsive behaviors here, and then other ways in which this person clings on tightly or almost rigidly in their mannerisms. And this relationship with this person feels like an artist's painting. It's very beautiful, but there is also an element of wildness to it. And I think you both bring a richness to one another's lives and likely experienced a lot of firsts together, especially if this is a childhood friend or a childhood love. Let's move on to the second part of the reading, which is examining how you might meet some of these individuals. I'm using pixie cards for these, and I didn't feel pulled to pull a card for every single one of these connections, particularly the Wheel of Fortune, because that felt much more open, much more transient, people coming and going, possibly, related again to soul family via career connections, the public eye, or just your own family in general. So 3 cards is what wanted to come out, and they are the Healing Fairy, number 36. And this I felt pulled for the 2 of Cups and then also the Ace of Cups. I wanted to get a little more information about this King of Wands person, so we have number 11, Escape. And then number 16, Butterfly Portal, for our Queen of Wands over here. Oh my gosh, I think they love that. Wow. So let's start with our 2 of Cups and the Ace of Cups card, Healing Fairy. So how you might meet this person, or these people. So the idea of healing, again, is being emphasized for you. So both the 2 of Cups and the Ace of Cups have to do with healing, and the emotion of water in tarot. And that seems pretty straightforward for the Ace of Cups, as we've already talked about, meeting individuals through healing or for healing purposes. But I almost see this Healing Fairy card as a sign that you're meeting some of these 2 of Cups individuals, like they too are these healing fairies. We kind of talked about them as unicorns before. Or you'll meet them on the other side of doing some inner work, or quite possibly meet them due to workshops or classes of some kind of deep inner journey. And for some of you, I'm seeing long distance hiking, which I know is really specific, but I know that in and of itself can be a very healing thing. I'm sure there are folks here who will resonate with that, but it could also be some kind of like somatic work, and whatever this workshop is, whatever it is you're doing, as a result, you maybe sign up for some other kind of event where you meet other individuals who are similarly intrigued by whatever this is. You might be joining a group where people share their personal stories, or you might also just find that you're expressing yourself from a more authentic place, and because of that, you start to attract your fellow unicorns or healing fairies here. There's an element here about being sparkly and magical and being yourself, which is coming to the forefront. And again, authenticity, I think, is what's bringing these folks to your yard. Yeah. Okay. So this one was interesting to me. This number 11, escape with the King of Wands. Oh, we're making a mess. Okay. To me, this is like ridiculously straightforward, and this is not how I typically read things, but this is what's coming through. This photo looks like an old memory to me, like almost like a Polaroid. And this implies to me you met this individual a long time ago, or possibly you crossed paths in childhood, or again, this could be about ancestry if you don't know the soul family member personally. And there is something that's completely random and totally specific for some people, but I'm being guided to talk about this word escape. So it's possible this person did help you in a certain way to get out of a bad situation, or literally they may have intervened during an accident, or possibly even saved your life. Obviously, that's for a select group of you watching and not everyone here. But the situation that you went through and crossing their path, it made an impact on them. And they have been watching over you as much as possible ever since, regardless of whatever this is. And so it won't necessarily be an escape for some of you, but it could just be you crossed paths with this person when you, it sounded like I said baths, didn't it? You crossed paths with this person at an earlier age, and I think they just have been kind of watching over you and keeping an eye on you. There's something about your energy. Perhaps it's because you have that same shared kind of sunshiny energy that's there, courageous energy perhaps, so that they felt the pull. And at this point, you have this extra guide that's watching over you. It's really kind of beautiful. So again, it may not be literal escape. It could just be that you crossed paths with somebody in childhood and just you made this kind of impression on them. All right. Again, likely someone you're related to, but could be an ancestor, someone you don't know, or it could just be someone that knew your family in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Moving on. We are jumping over here. Yes. Okay. Oh yeah, butterfly portal, number 16 for the Queen of Wands. Well, hello, there we go. So this is really interesting. When I was talking about this relationship being like an artist painting, I was literally seeing butterflies earlier. So for some of you, the name Vanessa coming through, which can be related to butterflies. And I'm seeing a definitive childhood friendship or lover link to this individual again. And then again, for others of you, this person may meet you at a transformative time in their life and in your life. And also, they just may really like butterflies. It's pretty simple and straightforward. And I know this is a portal, but I want to say it almost is like a mirror in some way, shape, or form. And so it's like you guys are two sides of the same coin. There's a lot that's different. There's contrast in this relationship, which helps you learn about one another. There's maybe a lot of things that are the same. There's a fieriness, I think, in both of you, or a rebellious streak, perhaps. Maybe you both really appreciate beauty. Maybe you both really like butterflies. But again, we have 16 here, so that could be like the age you meet as well. Or that might just be a number that's significant to you. Or it doesn't mean anything. All right. Last group of cards is what you and your soul family members teach each other, teach one another, why they are crossing paths with you. Okay, and so we have thriving, which I'm going to put over here with the Two of Cups. And courage. Oh, that's really interesting for the King of Wands. It's a good match. Purity, our Wheel of Fortune group. Ace of Cups, voyage. It's like a mom and baby. And patience for our Queen of Wands. All right, very nice. So let's hop into this. So your Two of Cups, unicorn friends, healing fairy friends with thriving. I love this. they're here in your life to teach you about thriving, about enjoying life, about having fun, not taking things too seriously. I think even if you guys are involved in some serious discussions or you support serious causes, I think you always find ways to laugh through your tears or through the tough times. There is a lot of laughter here. Definitely, there's a lot of loving, and there's a lot of living with these members of your soul family. Again, I do feel there is like a strong intuitive pull with this group. We have the moon up here. And I feel like you guys just brighten each other's each other's lives with these lights that are coming up here, being emphasized. Yeah. There's a lot of ways you're the same, and there's a lot of ways you learn to appreciate each other's differences. And I really think you help each other grow. And with this moon, I see it like you're going to be in each other's lives for many cycles, like we talked about that being phases of the moon over here as well. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. So let's talk about the Courage card next. So this is the King of Wands and the Escape that we were talking about earlier. So this is fascinating because the idea of courage coming through, especially after the escape message here popping up, it really doesn't surprise me in a sense. It's like, again, that they're emphasizing this bright beacon, the sunlight beacon, and how you have some of those same colors and frequencies within your aura, right? There's an emphasis on the sameness between the two of you. So perhaps they're banner carriers for courage, and, you know, those are their colors, and I think they encourage you to light yourself up in the same manner and to take some of their courage that they're sharing for yourself. And I do feel that that's actually a big part of why they're here. Perhaps they saw you needed a little courage when you were younger, or for whatever reason, I think you just, for a lot of you, you just made an impression on them, and they're always going to be there to encourage the growth of courage in your lifetime. Yeah. So something you can do, I think, because they are crossed, a lot of them at this point, is just kind of lean into that. If you're somebody who meditates or you're looking for a little extra courage, just, you know, say a little prayer and lean into that, and you may feel or see or know this person as they're stepping in. So they're definitely there to help you. That's really sweet. Okay. Purity. So this is the Wheel of Fortune group, and as I'm reading this, it's though these members of your soul family, even if the relationships aren't permanent, just know that they're meant to be what they are meant to be. So purity, I think, in this aspect is you being genuine and authentic in any of these connections, whenever they're occurring, wherever they're occurring, however they're occurring. Even if you look back and you cringe, which can happen a lot when we're reflecting on our relationships. We might be cringing at our own behaviors, and it's totally okay. We have to remember that. We have to be kind to ourselves, because when we have those moments that we're cringing over, just remember you were living who you were at that time, and you did the very best you could for who you were at that moment. So there are likely, I want to say, some sad endings or endings that make you angry or confused within this group, because there's so many of them, and that's okay too. It's part of the Wheel of Fortune. It's part of the ride of life. And this card, Purity, here is a reminder to be gentle with yourself in these moments. Even soul family relationships aren't always forever. Sometimes we need to get off the Ferris wheel and we need to go home. Sometimes our soul family relationships are only meant to last as long as we tend to them. And sometimes we leave the garden first, and other times it's the other individual. And truly, do we even have a choice there? Relationships are a two-way street, and as much as we might put into, putting seeds out in our garden and taking care of the soil and fertilizing the plants and watering every day and pruning, weeding, making sure our friends having fun with us at this carnival, we ultimately just can't control someone else's decisions and actions. And the more experience we get, I think the more reflection that occurs, the more growth we have, the more grace we have under pressure, the more we can get into the state of allowance. Every step you take, You are embracing purity, a big lesson with this particular group of soul family members. Yeah. And if this again is about children, it could be simply just about their purity, their innocence, them embracing who they are. Yeah. Kids are great for that, and kind of reminding us that we can step back to into that essence. Okay, so Ace of Cups. We have Voyage. And this brings me back to this idea of healing, perhaps even guidance, as we have a mom and a baby. Individuals who guide you through a process. Yeah. As they have experienced it already. That's what I'm getting. So this is almost this kind of relationship that you have with these people, with the soul family members. It's almost a mentorship or a guidance or sponsorship, perhaps. These are individuals who help you stay grounded as you navigate healing that needs to be done. Yeah, it's gentle. What's going on? They're steadfast and they're soft enough that you can put your guard down. And I think this connection or these connections are really epic. And it is for the long haul. Again, we're getting, that moon imagery. And I'm getting just a purity, a gentleness. We've got a lot of healing that's happening here. And so this again feels like kind of a slower process. And it's kind of a long-term thing, definitely. Okay, let's get to Little Miss Fire Pants here. So the Queen of Wands, this is about patience, which makes me laugh. So this makes me feel... It is a two-way lesson. We kind of talked about this being a mirror, like a two-way mirror. I think this is for both of you. There's a patience or a temperance on both ends, a moderation, learning how to navigate new situations or firsts together. And I feel like the relationship could be quite frustrating, honestly, at times, but also incredibly rewarding and rich, just full of beauty. And I can feel what feels like angels to me, stepping in and laying their hands on you as if to say, you're going to need some patience with this one. So here's our strength. But any ups or downs you navigate just further cement this relationship as an important one to your life path and your growth. This is a very, very prominent figure in your soul family. This is likely someone they're coming through more clearly to me than some of these others are. And so this is someone you're not forgetting. Even if you are separated at a certain point or for periods of time, they're there and they're prominently in your mind. And it's somebody that you can smile about and laugh about, I think, as well. So group one, those are members of your soul family who are coming forward today. I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I have big love and gratitude for you as always, and I'd love to hear more about your soul family in the comment box below. If you're so inclined, please share with us. We'd love to hear your stories, and if you felt this video was of value or entertaining, please consider liking the video and sharing it with others who may also enjoy it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe please and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. It was a pleasure reading for you, and I'm sending you my love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends. Hello, group two. If you picked this Tourmalinated Quartz, then welcome to your soul family reading. Okay, today's reading is divided into 3 parts, and in the first part, we are going to be looking at who these individuals or groups of individuals within your soul family are. We're trying to get some defining characteristics about them, and then any other information that sort of comes through based off of that as well. In the second portion of the reading, we will be examining how you cross paths with these people. And in the last part of the final part, we're examining lessons that you might be learning from them, they might be learning from you, or what you have to teach one another. Basically, why did you cross paths with this person? What's the purpose of the connection? Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to meet these people. All right, 5 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, King of Cups, And the Three of Pentacles. Wow, you guys have a color scheme going on, don't you? That is definitive. Let's begin with the Five of Wands. So, typically when we see this, it's a little chaotic, it's a little hectic kind of an energy. And while this could be associated with a single person for some of you, it's also likely equally representative of a group of people who are within your soul family. And so it's just going to depend on who's watching this. If you're in the camp of this card representing one person, for the majority of you, it is going to be a male. I'm seeing them as youngish, but that could be an association back in time. Like the hectic energy may be tied to them when they were younger, and maybe things aren't quite so crazy right now. But again, it could be male, it could be female, non-binary, young, old. It really doesn't matter, because it's really what I'm being told to emphasize is just this energy. This may be a relationship that is more challenging, I'm thinking, or it has been challenging in the past for you. It feels like this person's always trying to get their things together. They're trying to get their life together. They're trying to get their stuff together, but they just aren't always successful. This person feels like they often get in their own way. They trip themselves up, almost like they are getting on top of their life, and then something just happens and there is a setback and then another setback. So 2 steps forward and like 2 steps back, and then 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. This individual does feel like they have a lot of blocks in front of them. And they could be a member of your soul family who is in and then also out of your life. So weaving in, weaving out, weaving in, weaving out is what I'm seeing. If this is a group of people, I want to say that they represent friends who would have a similar kind of frantic or scattered energy to them. Also family for some of you. It's almost like in these types of instances where we're talking about a group, you may feel a bit like the odd one out. You know, you're the black sheep, you're the unicorn. Someone who's very different, or who can really see what's going on and has to manage this and live with it. So I am curious to dig into more about this group with the other pulls, but we're going to come back to that because I'm being pushed right now to move on. This is like a pushier energy with this group. I feel like with the first group we were just kind of leisurely talking. With this I want to just kind of go. All right, so this is the Four of Pentacles, and for this is interesting. This person, maybe this is why it's like a heavier energy. It's not necessarily fast, but it's big. So this person's either older than you, or yeah, it could be like generationally significant, or their approach to life is a little bit different. They could seem like an old soul in a young body. I'm leaning toward male, and this individual feels like they may not express themselves or their emotions very freely. Oh, it could be female too. They may keep things in a box that is very logic-based, or they like to stay focused on practical and very earthly matters instead of like ideas or intuition or emotion. It's like very different from this energy for sure. A little more like stabilizing. They definitely do things at their own pace, which makes others a tad frustrated from time to time. I think others want to move more quickly, and this is sort of like, no, don't try to move me. Like there's a lot of earthy kind of stubborn energy here, and especially if you have a quick mind, that might kind of drive you a little bonkers. I think this individual is very loving in their own way. It just may look a little different, and I want to say they could be like a father or a grandparent or great uncle or like an older friend or family friend, or if not a relative that's that close, like a boss or a mentor of some kind. Or an expert, I want to say, that steps through as somebody important to you. There's some kind of gap between you and this person that keeps being stressed to me. Not that it stresses you out, just that it's being emphasized. You know, like, look at the way these are spaced out. It's like, can't get any closer. It's almost like magnets when you put the same poles together, north and north or south and south. They kind of repel each other. There's a little bit of that going on. And I want to say if this is a current relationship, like a family member or a friend, it is okay to let that guard down a little bit, or your walls, and be a little more open or a little more vulnerable. It's almost like there's a nervousness to do so on your part. And I do feel like, or there's something that's holding you back there. And I feel like this person will reciprocate when they see you coming out of your shell a little bit. It's like there's this mirroring that's going on between the two of you, and I think you may clam up a bit around them because they feel different, perhaps a bit removed to you, or even a little awkward in some instances, which makes you want to pull back a little. But if you are opening a little bit more, they are going to be a little more open with time. They might need to work on it a little bit, and that's okay. And if this is a work situation and the walls are up, that's totally fine, of course. But what I'm hearing, well, it's fine in any way, shape, or form, but what I'm hearing is to be as human as you can with them, because they almost need to see that again in order to make growth on their own and within this relationship, and then you guys can grow together. So I am, again, really curious about what other lessons the two of you are teaching one another in this lifetime, so we'll hop right back into that shortly. This is who I want to get to now. The Knight of Swords. You know what? Actually, I almost want to talk about both of these at the same time. We've got Knight of Swords and King of Cups, yes. The King of Cups. Wow. All right. These both feel like romances to me. That's why I wanted to kind of put them together. The Knight of Swords feels like a younger energy. We'll start there. So a person that's maybe younger, or someone that you had a relationship with when you were younger yourself, and while there were aspects that were really good about it, I feel like it was a person who helped to shape your formative experiences with romance. So this person had a lot going for them, maybe intelligent, interested, charming, not maybe the most emotionally savvy, even though they would never admit that. I think they kind of thought that their you-know-what didn't stink. I feel like prospects may have looked good to you initially and perhaps for some time, but then I think things may have ended in part due to the way that this individual rushes into things. And I'm also getting a fear of being like shut out a little bit. Like missing out on things, like FOMO. They seem like they had a lot going on, or many interests, and they also maybe just like couldn't commit to you, or can't commit to you currently, or give you what you need. And then if we roll over into the King of Cups, this is a more evolved type of love interest or romance, this soul connection. So you may already know this person, you may not know them yet, and they're very open and receptive and attentive. And notice here, they're looking straight at us versus the knight who's looking ahead for their own interest. Okay? So this soul family member represents a person who is giving you what you need and not what you think you see in them. You know, there may have been some loving the idea of this Knight of Swords person or his or her potential instead of loving them for where they were at. But with the King of Cups, this is a much more mature person. They could be older than you or young, but just an old soul. You two just click, however. They're likely quite intuitive, very, very receptive and thoughtful, and even chivalrous, perhaps, even though we might associate the knight with chivalry. There's more of, an attention to you on your wants and needs. Yeah. It's a merman. Okay. And then finally, the Three of Pentacles. So this Three of Pentacles is striking me as a work relationship of some kind for you. So a person you collaborate with, whom you work well with, and could be a mentor or a peer. I think you guys just click really well. And it actually could be, as I'm tuning in, more than one person. It could be a few people from your work, your trade, your career, people you meet through hobbies, perhaps. And for some, it's going to be one. For others, it'll be two or three or more. And I think this just means that part of your soul family is related to these particular areas of your life, whatever that is, work, trade, career, hobbies, things like that. And it could be that you're very passionate about what you do. It also could be equally likely that you are just meeting people that you click with there. You know, it doesn't have to be that you're all just super passionate about this hobby or, you know, whatever it is you're doing. It just might be, hey, I see you and you like this and I like this, so let's hang out. And I do see this is like a lengthy kind of connection that you are going to be having, lifelong friends. Even if one of you leaves this workspace, say it's work, I see you getting together outside of work and you're catching up and enjoying each other's company, regardless of like the period of time. And I think some of you may even have like a little army of people that you really love and care about from these spaces. And I really like that group too, because so often you hear stories of people shifting in and out of work or career without really connecting to others, but this is not the case. But again, it could be hobbies. These people, or volunteer work for some of you. Yeah. These people actually feel like family to me. It's just that deep. It's like you're going deeper and deeper and deeper here. This is very loving with a lot of good times and laughter, parties, supporting one another through life's ups and downs. It's very nice. If you're not party people, it can be like, you know, even smaller get-togethers as well. Very, very good. I want to say before we move on to the second part of the reading, if I didn't say this before, with this color scheme happening, this makes me think you really gel very well with all of these members, like with all these members of your soul family. You can tell that you get along really well with them, and they may also get along well with one another. Okay, so where might you meet these individuals? I'm going to be using these pixie cards today, and I'm not laying cards down for all of these because of the nature of some of these. Like the Five of Wands to me feels like a relationship that you already feel tied to, and you'll know what that is. You know, for a large portion of you, it's long-term, it's family possibly, and I don't think we need too much guidance here. And also the Three of Pentacles to me already feels like colleagues, so I don't think we need to go there either. I'd like to explore the singularities here in the middle and see if we can't flesh these out a little bit more. Okay, so we have 39, annul. I think that's how you say that. Like an annulment. That's going to be for the Four of Pentacles, soul family member. Number 19, opportunity, for the Knight of Swords. And for the King of Cups, 37, dreams. Okay, let's start with our Four of Pentacles person and annul. There we are. Okay, group 2. If you don't already know this person or recognize them as a relative, for some of you, you're going to be meeting them that way. If not, this individual very likely comes to you through work, career, trade, or for lack of a better term, what this also feels like is necessary adulting. Yeah. They could literally be your accountant. An IT person, like a lawyer, a clerk of some kind, a judge, a politician, someone who works in your local community. Yeah. And some kind of perhaps like an elected position. So you might meet this individual after filing taxes or during jury duty or something along those lines. Things that maybe don't feel exciting, but then it's like, oh, I'm going to meet this person who's helping me. And I feel like you might reach out to them for help. And I sort of see them taking you under their wing to get something straightened out. And it may not be the most emotionally exciting kind of experience when you're together right away, but this person is solid and they're steady and they're very helpful for you in creating a firm foundation where you may be just a little shaky at times. And it could be also that's just like first jitters and awkwardness that I'm picking up on. But I think as you two get to know one another, you let your guard down a bit more, and this person does play like a strong role in sort of helping you get things together in one way, shape, or form in your life. Okay, that's what I have for that. Let's look at the Knight of Swords here. So number 19, opportunity. Okay, so we can see we have like this hand with fingernails, long fingernails at the end, and it's like clutching an egg. I think this meeting with this person, this get-together, may literally entail what this card is stating. There's an opportunity, and there's maybe not much more to it. One of you catches the eye of the other person, someone shoots their shot, and the rest of history and the rest is history or herstory. With the claw-like hand, grasping the egg, it kind of reinforces this idea that this individual does have other things on their mind and they're not totally aware of the power that they have or the grasp that they may have with your heart. I do feel like their grasp is long-reaching. So this may have been or is a particularly charged relationship, especially toward, I want to say toward like the ending of things. So I'm looking in the background and I'm seeing these holes here, and it's almost like, oh yeah, there's holes in a story or there's holes in the foundation. So it kind of strikes me as something that's not meant to be long term. What's interesting too is we have 19 here, so 1 and 9 is going to give us 10. It's kind of like the ending of a cycle, but also for this, the King of Cups, we have the same thing. So it's like we end one cycle and we get into the next one. And to me, that's showing, I think, a lot of growth. I think this person is going to be teaching you a lot about yourself, and you're also teaching them a lot about themselves as well. So let's talk about Mr. King of Cups here, or Ms. King of Cups, whoever they are to you. And this Dreams card. There we go. So to me, this is pretty cool. I almost feel like you two actually dreamt or will dream of one another before meeting, and your souls meet at night when you're sleeping, and it could be through astral projection. Pretty cool. And I would wager at this point that you and this person have had other lifetimes supporting one another, and it could be that in this particular lifetime, you wind up exploring things like intuition or dreaming or psychic phenomena together. Just something a little bit different. This certainly has a unique feel to it, this particular soul family relationship. For some of you, you may have been thinking about qualities you would like in a partner, and as you start committing to that, the person appears. So it's like you're doing your work, and as you're doing the work, then the opportunity comes to you. So self-reflection, inner work, and then boom, the individual's there. I do want to say too that this card may indicate there is some distance between the two of you, maybe at first, so it could be long distance. You may also meet them while you're traveling, or you're online possibly, because it does have like that kind of intangibility to it. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It's a little, not transient, but it's just not firm right away. You may schedule like a face-to-face or some kind of meetup. Yeah, it could be long distance when you're beginning things. It's just, it feels very interesting, and it feels like it has an awful lot of potential behind it. It almost feels kind of enormous in one sense. Very cool. Okay. And so the last part of our reading, we are going to be looking at what you and your soul family members teach one another. Why are you crossing paths? That kind of thing. And we have here power for the 5 of Wands group. And for the 4 of Pentacles person, oh, that's so pretty. Community. I like that. For the Knight of Swords, interesting, new beginnings. For the King of Cups, release. Wow. We already had like the adding up to 10 here too. And we have beginning and release. Like springtime and fall. And opportunity. Second time we had opportunity. This is for the 3 of Pentacles though. Very different kind of opportunity. Cool. Okay. Let's start with the 5 of Wands and the power card. So this has that same chaotic or hectic or very charged feel to it for me. It's frenetic, and I think the lesson on both sides for you guys is power. It could be about what it means to hold power or to feel powerless in a situation. It could be about what you do with power when you have it, or when you have that lack of power. Like, how do you carry yourself? How do you relate to other people? And the thing I want to say is about release. Yeah. When lightning strikes, it goes to the ground in a release. And the same can be said about this particular relationship. Do you keep playing in this strong, stormy energy field, or can you let go and release and stay calm in the midst of everything? So this particular soul family group or person is learning as much from you, I think, as you are from them. And so a lot of it is about reflection and then action. And I think for a lot of you, you definitely know who this person is already. This isn't something I think that They're just entering into your life. But again, it's going to depend on who's watching. So our community card with that Four of Pentacles person. So I think this individual and their lessons for you and from you could be about lowering those walls that we talked about initially, letting other people in, and perhaps approaching people and befriending others who are a little different from ourselves. We need, I think, so many different people in our lives to maintain a healthy and functioning ecosystem of community. Everyone and everything plays a part together. And the lessons here, I think, are about openness and leaning in and tolerance and acceptance of where we are and when we are. For some, it's about valuing what's in front of us and allowing the soul family member to be where they are and who they are at that particular time, and just totally being okay with it, not trying to fix anything, not trying to, change anything, tear anything up, right? Try to fix them. Sometimes our soul family lessons aren't just about who we vibe with the most. It's not just about the people that we feel the closest to, but who we can learn the most from, and how those people show us who we are when we look in the mirror. I like that. I like that rainbow there. All right, let's talk about this. New beginnings. This is driving me crazy. I feel like it's making such a big mess. Okay. Knight of Swords, opportunity, and new beginnings. Yeah. This particular relationship's about growth and being able to move forward to the light, towards the total transparency of what we want, our needs and desires being laid out bare for that individual. This is about learning to be authentic through honesty and not being afraid, just embracing what we want and what we desire, and just speaking up. Sometimes we don't say what we want because we're afraid of losing somebody or something. And that's what part of this relationship is here to teach you, I think. Being able to release, being able to move forward into the next relationship and adventures without casting a long shadow because we're holding on to things. So healing. I think this is a very big healing opportunity for you. And doesn't that drive you nuts when we all say that, when tarot readers say that? You have a healing opportunity with this. So healing in the hard stuff, that's just, honestly, that's where the most magic happens. People are not motivated as much to heal or to change when things are smooth sailing all the time. All right, let it go, Andrea. Okay. So we have release. This is really interesting to me. So this King of Cups, the Dreams card, the release, yeah. And I just love how this is new beginnings, this last relationship, and this one begins with release. So I see this as a release of expectation, sitting in sovereignty, bringing the wisdom and the lessons with you that don't bind you. Again, they're not casting that long shadow that we talked about. And at this point, you're ready to meet your own needs. There isn't a lot of pressure here for the other person to complete you or to know and to anticipate your every single whim. This is natural, it's comfortable, and like anything organic, it's going to cycle through the seasons too. Again, I almost feel like this is spring and this is fall. And that's where the beauty lies, I think, in these kinds of situations, in these kinds of relationships. I feel like, yeah, it's in the release. I feel like this relationship's going to be a big one for you in terms of this particular lifetime. I think there is definitely a lot of magic here with them. And yeah, you're bringing that magic with you in the form of your beautiful soul and the lessons that you have under your belt. So I do, again, feel like this person's coming a little bit later by comparison to that Knight of Swords that we talked about. So keep your heart open, and I think you two are going to have so much more to learn from one another. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. And our Three of Pentacles group, we have opportunity. Again, going back to this opportunity card versus this, like this looks almost sinister. And then this one is just like a beautiful breath and intake and pause. I love it. So this lesson's about coming together when you can, I think, to celebrate each other and what you've achieved, spending time with one another in joy, making the most out of each day, and remembering that our time together is limited, right? And this is about reaching out, taking charge maybe if others aren't, maybe initiating contact if it's been a little while. This is maybe about making the first move when you meet someone new in this group and seeking those commonalities. We talked a little bit about that over here too, so that could be a theme for you. Yeah, look for commonalities, look for ways you can learn from each other, because I think this soul family group really promises to shower you with much joy for many, many years of your lifetime. All right, so group 2, very interesting. Those are members of your soul family who are coming forward today. Remember, there are obviously more, but this is just the energy that is being presented for you. And I'm going to end your reading right here. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And as always, I have big love and gratitude for you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your soul family in the comment box below if you're so inclined. We would love to hear your stories. And if you felt this video was of value or entertaining, please consider liking the video and sharing it with others who may also enjoy it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. It was a pleasure reading for you, and I'm sending you my love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends. Hello, group 3. If you picked the pressed penny, then welcome to your soul family reading. Today's reading is going to be divided into 3 different parts, and in the first part, we are going to be meeting these individuals in your soul family group. In the second part of the reading, we will be looking at the connection and how you two, or this group of people, may be meeting. And then finally, the last part of the reading is going to be about the lessons that you are learning, either lessons you're learning from that person or lessons you are teaching this other individual. That's my cat. He's saying hello. Or the purpose of your connection. Why is this person in your life? Why are you in their lives? So that is how things are going to be going today. That's how the reading is going to be structured. Let's take a look at your cards. We have the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Wands. Now, 6 might be an important number for you. The Knight of Cups, Strength, and the King of Pentacles. Cool. Okay. So what I'd like to do is begin with the 6 of Cups. Okay, your soul family, group 3, 6 of Cups. So I think these would be, and I'm saying these because this is a group to me, these would be some members of your soul family that you already know, relationships or friendships cemented in your earlier lifetime, as a childhood or perhaps when you're a teenager. This feels like old and happy memories to me, things to look back on and reflect later on in life. And it feels like a small collection or a collective of individuals. Not that you're collecting people. They may or may not know each other, but you are the bridge. You are the connector, I think, between all of them. And some of them you may actually end up connecting. You may have friends, new friends. These people may be cousins or siblings or friends, but the important thing is that they feel like family to me. There's a sense of growing up together or experiencing a lot of firsts. Yeah. And I think no matter where you are in life, these are the people you can go back to and laugh with. You laugh about things you did, shenanigans you were up to. You toast to the troublemaking and the mistakes or the missteps and the life experiences that you had, the life that you've lived. And I think another interpretation that wants to come through here is that the idea of your children as being part of your soul family. And so these could be children that you have or future children, whether biological or fostered or adopted, fur babies, children who may be with you for a while because their family can't take care of them at this particular moment, even if it's for a little while, because time does not sever the soul family bond. And also, if you were someone who was in a foster situation or adopted yourself, or maybe you had a sibling or a family member that went through that, this can also be about those certain adults in your life being soul family. people whose paths you crossed, the ones that you felt the closest to. But again, it doesn't have to be parents necessarily, or like, foster parents, step parents. It's or relatives. But it could be caseworkers or friends or teachers. It's this idea that we can make family with whomever we cross paths with. But I think the thread that's consistent in the Six of Cups group is that this is a small cadre or group of individuals that's likely met in the past and possibly in the future. And I think we'll take a look in a little while to see what kinds of lessons that are coming through regarding these relationships, because my attention's being pulled over here now. All right, Six of Wands. Okay, this person has got some pretty big energy. So this member of your soul family, this is a single person, I'm thinking. It's someone who's definitely incarnated with you here, and I'm seeing them fixed as an adult. So whether they're an adult when you're young or an adult now, it likely depends on who's watching. So for some, this could be your immediate parent or someone like a parent, but for others, this is a good friend. Also, like an aunt or an uncle. It's almost like a crazy fun kind of family member, aunt or uncle. Like you maybe even call them an aunt or an uncle, but it's just like friends with your parents. Someone who's babysitting you in some instances. For those of you who are seeing this as like a past connection, something that happened in the past. I think this particular individual really knows how to have a good time. Yeah. This is the person that you get ready to see, and your visit is guaranteed to be quite interesting. I'm almost feeling like a little anticipatory rush. This individual may push you, I think, out of your comfort zone just a wee bit, but they are very caring, they're very loving in their own way, and they feel to be more comfortable in the limelight or with attention than you may be. Perhaps a little more extroverted, or at least more extroverted than you might be. They feel opinionated or a little loud surrounding certain beliefs or mindset, and you may not always agree with what they say, but I think that you find the way that they justify their thinking to be a little amusing. And even though they're running a bit hot, they are incredibly loving, very generous, extremely kind-hearted, generous with their time, with their money, affection. They would do a lot for anybody, for you, for strangers. So I also think too, though, there's a little bit of a mask here. And I think that while some of you may be a little more buttoned up than this person, the balance, I think, is good between you. I think they help you loosen up a little bit, and you help them to reel things in when necessary. They do feel like a very good time, group 3. And I almost get that your time together has gaps between it. Like it might be spaced out or a little sporadic. But when you do see each other, you both enjoy the time very, very much. And I think you have many fond memories that you'll be looking back over together. Our Knight of Cups. You've got some strong energy in this group. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I think this individual's coming to you as an adult, and I actually am hearing the word Casanova, which won't apply to everyone, but I think a large majority of you watching this, you will know. This person is either another like very big, energetic, flamboyant kind of friend to you. I think you have a lot of that happening here, group 3. Or there's a possibility too they are or they were some kind of suitor for you. But I feel like you guys have energy that would be better as friends. I feel like this person has a lot of experience with partners and romance. Whether that's that they like to be very casual and have hookups, or they're just kind of somebody who's perpetually dating. There's likely overlap there with some partners. Yeah, I think they have some serious personality though. Big antics, and they may be a little self-focused at the time that you know them. But there's also this soft spot for you, group 3. It's like if there was a romantic interest, you two realized, I think, that you were better off as friends, or they just esteem you very much and they don't want to put you through that. Because when I feel them thinking about you, it's just there's this like tenderness around you, even if they don't ordinarily show that side of themselves or share it with others. And I think this is the kind of person you might actually have in your life as friends for quite a long time. Yeah. Even if it doesn't seem that way. Interesting. Okay. So this one's a first. This is definitely animal. You know, and we've got a cat here, and my own cat's over here in the room with us making noise over there. So this definitely to me is probably about animals or pets. For some of you, this is a specific and very special animal that you hold in your heart as a member of your soul family. You'll absolutely know who I'm talking about because this feels like they have very likely crossed the rainbow bridge. This animal does feel unique to me, not a typical type of pet for some of you watching, and for others, it's just that you two were incredibly bonded. You had a very unique kind of relationship, I think. Yeah. Just know if they've crossed over that they watch over you and they're happy because they can literally go everywhere with you and there are no more physical constraints or restraints with this relationship. Yeah, if they're a horse, for example, it'd be a little weird if you brought your horse with you to school, right? So, you two feel like best friends, period. And there's just a feeling of warmth and camaraderie here. You may be an animal person, and this can also be a nod to you taking care of or rescuing animals. Perhaps even like you let bugs or spiders go outside. I want to say too, for some of you, and I said this at the beginning, that if this particular group is not resonating for you, just know that not all of them will, because we're having 5 different soul family members roughly in each group. At least we have so far, and you may also have something in another group. So some of you this may not be your thing, and that's okay. Yeah. For those that it is though, I almost see this coming forward as a nod to you from the elemental realm for being a champion of like small creatures, for Mother Nature, for taking care of her animals, for taking care of pets. And it can also refer to multiple pets if you have more than one. You do have a strong animal connection, and this connection survives physical death or transition. And for some of you, that means animal communication may be a special skill set for you, or as we say, an intuitive strength for you. We'll revisit that. Let's meet our King of Pentacles first. This feels like a mentor or teacher type vibe for you, group 3. Someone who takes you under their wing and helps you reach your fullest potential. They do feel to be a little older, mature, or generally have more experience than you. So they don't have to be older necessarily. Some of you may know this person as a family connection, but a generation removed, like a friend of your father. And it almost feels like they go back a ways, like they might have been friends growing up. There's a definitive possibility of some kind of family connection or friendship that way, but this won't be the case for everyone. But what I'm getting is like firm fondness for this particular soul family connection. They feel a bit more removed than some of these other connections that we have here. But again, this is someone who makes a difference in your life, and you hold a soft spot in their heart. And I think they feel like they get you through some initial challenges or as you learn your trade. And they're just enjoying watching your growth, your expansion, your potential here. Yeah, and if there's a family connection, they almost see you as an extension of their own family, like you are one of their own children. We're going to now look at where you might meet these individuals. I'm going to lay down cards for some of these soul groups, or soul family groups or members. Some of them I won't because they feel fairly cemented. Like the 6 of Cups to me is a very specific energy, and so is the Strength card. And so I think you already will know, who we're talking about with Strength, and with the 6 of Cups, likely that has to do with childhood or children, and that kind of thing. We talked a lot about it already. So for 6 of Wands, we've got hibernation. That's the number 10. Knight of Cups, 30, apparition. And King of Pentacles, 32, rumination. Okay. That's funny, the circles are matching there. Yeah, let's start here. Number 10, hibernation. So this is making me think of like hunkering down in the winter time and resting. We've got like our candles here. You know, it's a bit opposite of this person's like warm energy, but it gives us some information to go off of. I'm almost thinking that with this, it's possible this kind of insulated warm energy is actually referring to a person you've met in the past. So this can be a past connection. You know, it's like when you think of happy past memories, you get a little warm and fuzzy feeling. That's one way that this hibernation card is making me feel about this connection for you, like how you might meet is in the past. And the other is that it's possible you spent significant time with this individual in the winter time or in colder seasons, or you will. You may have met them or you will meet them during this time. It's possible like you're on a vacation, like a ski trip, or maybe even being snowed in a little bit at a period of time. Maybe they're new to the neighborhood or something. And the contrast between these cards here is just, to me, really playing up their warmth. They really do make an impact on your life. And again, the number 10, going back to that number, it could be you're around that age when you meet them, 10 years old. It could be a date, October being the 10th month of the year or the 10th of a month. It may also indicate you meet them on a decade birthday, like, 10, 20, 30, 40, that kind of thing. So I'd keep that in mind too, because we have another multiple of 10 over here with the apparition card, number 30 for the Knight of Cups. There we go. Okay. So this one's really unique. This is making me think you may meet this person not in the physical, but perhaps online first, like a dating app of some kind, social media. But I feel like you're aware of their presence or they're aware of you in this way. And I think you may also meet them possibly at a club or a museum, like a restaurant or a church, cemetery, a party, some kind of gathering. And it's a place that has some kind of unique structure and architecture to it, just being drawn into what I'm seeing right here. There's something though that is separating the two of you. There's a divide to it that's being brought to my attention here. Some kind of gap. So literally it could be like, say you meet them in a restaurant and you're just like on opposite sides when you meet and your eyes lock across the room. Or it could imply that you meet in a unique way or unique circumstances. Or maybe they're like a friend of a friend. They introduce you. You might be in a place you wouldn't ordinarily go to. So maybe it's like your friend who gets you on a dating app and swipes for you, or you go to a party or a club where you wouldn't ordinarily. Again, there's this decade number right here, such as you might meet them at that age, around 30, or they'll be around that age, or it could be, it references a date as well. Okay. And then let's jump over here to the King of Pentacles with the Rumination card. Let me try to get that in focus for you. Okay. So this is emphasizing to me the idea of a past tie again. So perhaps it isn't an actual family tie, but I think when this person sees you, you remind them of someone from their past, and it makes them a little more motivated to work with you. There may be a feeling of knowing one another before, a little bit like deja vu, I want to say, group 3. And it's possible that you've had, I think, more than one lifetime with this individual. That's what's coming through, and I wasn't getting that at first. That's really interesting to me. And it's interesting. It's kind of like abrupt with them. It's like, here's what I have to say, and then you're moving on. I am being drawn to, as I'm looking, like we both have circles here, we have circles there, the color green. So there could be definitely like a healing aspect to this connection, whether for you or for them or for both of you. Yeah, I don't know. This is also making me think of memories in some way. They may have had a loss. And maybe they feel like you remind them of the person who's gone a little bit. Okay, let's see what else we get. So we're now going to take a Sacred Destiny Oracle card for each group. And this is going to be about what you and your soul family members teach one another. what you're learning from each other, perhaps why this person's in your life. And so for our first group, the Six of Cups, we have change. For our next group, we have got embracing. This is the Six of Wands group. We have going forward for our Knight of Cups. A lot of green there too. Strength, stand still. And openness. Ooh, okay. That's for our King of Pentacles. Interesting. Let's start with our Six of Cups and change. The imagery on this change card is so sweet, and it makes me think of childhood innocence and childhood memories. So perhaps the Soul Family group and its members are here to teach you and learn from you regarding change or living in the moment, as change is always inevitable. This is a group of people with whom that you're going to be wanting to make sweet memories, and you probably have. It's almost like going to an amusement park here, and it's like you're sitting around when you're older and reminiscing. Remember the time we went to this particular place and we rode this ride? You know, wasn't that a fun time? And inevitably you maybe start talking about the adults in your life that aren't there anymore, or other people that perhaps you lost touch with, and that kind of thing. So there's like a sweetness to it. There's a little bit of bittersweetness there, because that is life. That is change. Things go up, things go down. Yeah. This is reminding me of cotton candy too. Maybe you traded out your cotton candy for like a little drink on the beach or something, but I could almost see you two getting together and acting out, you know, like, let's go back and go to this place, or let's take our kids to the same place we went to. Like if you took like a beach vacation together, or your family did something special or unique, you finding a way to do that for your children as well, so that you're kind of revisiting and enjoying life together that way, reliving some things, but then also rolling with the changes as well. Yeah, very sweet. I like that a lot. Okay, so your Six of Wands fiery person here. Lessons that we have here, we have embracing. This feels good. You know, I really don't feel like a lot needs to be said for this particular group, because this is really straightforward. We just spoke about this energetic difference between you and this individual, and that you two may be learning about balancing your energies out a little bit. This bird too always reminds me of temperance. I think, is that in the Wild Unknown deck? I think that we have like a similar type bird that's on that. So to me, that is about balance and healing, you know? And so I think when one of you is a little bit much, then the other is going to bring that person out to a more chill level. And when one of you isn't out there maybe taking a healthy risk now and again, or maybe getting a little stuck, then the other will be there to push you. I think too, this is about, oh, that's interesting, because then we have another bird that's similar over here with standstill. We were talking about being stuck. That's interesting. I do think too, this is about embracing who you are, you know, your differences, but also your commonalities that are there between you. And, you know, carpe diem, just live each day to the fullest. Yeah. Embracing and allowing. I think too, I'm actually being pulled back to this other group. If these people know who this person is, and we were talking about like reminiscing about others, there's probably talk about this individual. So with the Knight of Cups here, this is a pretty card, going forward. So I think this energy is really interesting. And this could be talking about mental fortitude, I think, perhaps in love or in other areas of life. I think there may be something that has one or both of you really leaning into the other person. So perhaps, I feel like on the outside you two make odd bedfellows, so to speak. People might look at you like, what? But there's something about the two of you that allows you to be open with one another. So I'm almost getting that while there may be some superficial differences that other people are picking up on, The two of you are rather deep and well suited as long-term and close friends. I feel like this relationship's one that's always going to keep you on your toes. And there may almost be like a mirroring aspect in one sense of this person. If this is a past relationship, and in the past, this person almost brings that same sense of like joy and embracing the moment. So that you are almost, I don't want to say reliving, but kind of experiencing, some of those same qualities. So it might even make you, this person might make you a little wistful and you're not even quite aware of why. Yeah, like we've got the sun here, we've got the moon here. So it's like we're in another aspect of who this person is. Like here's when they're in the sun and, here's the other side. We're kind of remembering them. And that's not to say that you're not with this person or present with this person or embracing this person for who they are. You are. But it's just, I think there's some aspects of this that remind you of this particular individual as well. So these two have a link. And maybe that's what this is, like why we have the decades here, the multiples of 10. Like there's some space between them, I think. But that won't be for everybody though. Okay. Let's look at this here too, the strength and standstill. And again, I'm really being brought back to that mirroring with the cards there and the birds. Similar positions, but facing opposite directions. Both kind of in marshy areas. So I feel like this message has a few layers to it. Firstly, this is about being present. I think the way that animals teach us to enjoy the present moment, like stop ruminating about the past or worrying about the future and get anchored into what's happening in front of you. So like every time we run our fingers over a cat's, little chin, or you're teaching a bird to speak a word, or you're snuggling your dog, or you're riding a horse, like you're in the moment. And I think that's part of our animal friends' lessons to us. Also, if you're pushing yourself too much, part of the soul family's lesson to you, I think, is to slow down and enjoy yourself. Put yourself into a standstill, into a bit of a time out. And remember too, if you're feeling lonely or sad after losing one of your beloved animals, remember that you can meditate and connect with their presence. They're always going to be there for you. They're always by your side, no matter their size, no matter their shape, no matter their smell. They're there for you. And they're excited about that. Look at this. Even the way that this animal's facing us, they're coming at us. It's like they're ready for you. They're ready to come right to you and connect with you in your energy field, always by your side. They're just that open and that loving and that receptive to you. Yeah, so for some of you, if you just lost a pet too, this might be a little hello, a little sign from you. They're just saying hi right now. Okay, and this is interesting, the King of Pentacles, because it was so brief what was coming through. And again, I say he, it could be feminine energy as well, gender neutral. It doesn't matter, it's how it's presenting. But they were very brief and concise with everything. But then we have this openness card, which just, I feel like it takes things in a whole new direction. So this to me this could literally be about being open to this relationship or this mentorship from this individual. But I think, again, I'm getting this idea that you two may have, there's some other element to this that's like a little more divine. You may have had past life moments. Yeah, and this might be even more so than some of the other groups we've had so far. And that doesn't mean this relationship's going to, if there's a past life, connection or several with this individual, it doesn't necessarily mean that this relationship is going to feel super deep or anything like that. It may, but it may not. But I do feel there is some kind of larger connection here for you. Perhaps you help this individual out in one lifetime and they're repaying the favor. It could also be your guides and their guides are actively working to get the two of you to actively work together. So just, I think, be open to the connection, and I think there's going to be some really interesting things that unfold here. And I'm being drawn to not just the light of the moon with the intuition, but we also have all of the constellations back here, which are just making me think of the differences between people and their stories and where they come from. And so it's making me think of the interconnectedness of everything, even if we can't see that on one level. It just got really exciting here. I apologize. You can hear like trucks outside and Goomba barking. So, all right, group 3. Those are the members of your soul family who are coming forward today. And I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And as always, I have big love, appreciation, and gratitude for you. So if you're comfortable with it, tell us a little bit about your soul family in the comment box below if you're feeling inclined, because we'd love to hear your stories. And if you felt this video was of value or entertaining, please consider liking the video and sharing it with others who may also enjoy it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. It was a pleasure reading for you, and I'm sending you my love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends. Hello, group 4. If you picked this red or a quartz, then welcome to your soul family reading. So today's reading is going to be divided into 3 separate parts. The first part of your reading is going to be an introduction to your soul family or soul group members that are coming through today. The second part of the reading is going to address how you two might meet, or if it's a group of people, how you guys might be meeting. And then the final part is what lessons that you might be learning or taking from one another, teaching one another, or what is this connection about? We're going to hop right into it today, beginning with who these members of your soul family are. So we're starting with the 8 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, the 4 of Swords, Ace of Wands. I feel like that actually goes with that one. And the Knight of Wands. Okay. Let's see here. You have a lot of strong energy here. This is really interesting. This group overall feels to have more mentors and teachers in it than any of the other groups thus far. So you may have some big plans right now, or in life in general, just regarding hobbies or trade or career. So you might be in this energetic flux when you find this video in regards to one of those areas, so that these particular individuals are being highlighted and you can kind of keep an eye out for them. Yeah. So let's start with the 8 of Swords individual here. So this particular soul group member is definitely a teacher type. I feel like the figure on the card feels like you, and there's this individual who is stepping forward, who is assisting you in moving beyond this kind of trapped energy. They can't see the forest for the trees kind of feeling. Now this could be a friend who just has some tough love kind of energy, but it could be that in this instance you are actively seeking a mentor out or a coach of some kind. This feels like you're in a place where you are ready to confront some truths or to take a look at your current reality. And you're likely, if you're in this state, with the way this is feeling, you're probably receptive to making some changes. And I think you will know when you've reached this point, because you're going to feel the nudge or an urge to really do something about this situation. So you might find that you are researching different things to try out. You might seek counsel with like an intuitive healer, for example, or a tarot reader or a psychic. You may research different ways to boost your mood or try journaling techniques. You might reach out to different types of therapists. And I think some of you who are into your own tarot, like reading tarot, may be looking up different spreads to analyze what's going on for you. And I feel like these things will work to an extent until you decide to really connect with somebody outside of you. So I think your energy has this invitation, and when you're ready, the teacher approaches, whether it's because you're reaching out or they do. Okay, and then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Let's see if we can get that in focus there. So this is also a unique card in the context of others, as I tend to read it like there's just some kind of support typically from the other side. That's how this comes through to me. And so I want to see what that could mean. This looks like Fruit Loops. Shiny Fruit Loops. So this feels like many members of your soul family, and I'm specifically being pulled, I think, to biological family or some kind of shared experience between you and a group of other people. It's almost like you have this cohort, or like you have a cadre of some kind, or perhaps you grew up in a large family unit. There's just something here. It's unique. It makes you all the same, but you still all have things about you that are different. You still retain your own uniqueness. It's like you've all trained for something together. You're part of some kind of unusual club. Some of you might be part of a military group, like, or a motorcycle club, or like an artist's retreat, or a choir, or like a singing group. It's just really specific. Even, something as random as being related to somebody famous. Or maybe you're the famous person. I could keep listing things, but there are just so many possibilities out there. There's no way we can get them all. This is a very, very specific energy. Yeah. For some of you, there may be a little bit of sorrow, or there needs to be some processing of feelings or trauma associated with this group. There's some kind of, it's like it's related to the shared experience that pulls you all in, but you still have your own unique take or experience or flavor. For some of you, this does have to do with children, and it is possible that the soul family group, that all these members here have all shared like guides on the other side, or it's like your guides and their guides and the other people's guides. You're all working closely together to bring some kind of harmony or healing to this experience. But to me, again, this always makes me think of the other side. There is some kind of intense divine presence here that is working behind the scenes with you all. And we will definitely come back to this, but I'm feeling pulled to move on and talk about our Four of Swords and Ace of Wands person here next. Okay. Yeah, so this is the only group where this happened, where we pulled a card and it feels like it's attached to this person. So for some of you, I think this soul family person is a mother figure, and for others, this is someone that you're admiring within a working space. That's probably likely it. Trade, hobby, career. Maybe it's both for some of you. It could be a mother that does these things. You may know this person, but it feels more likely you know them superficially at first, as though they have an online presence before you work together. I do feel that you're maybe close-ish in age, so that would eliminate the mother aspect for some of you. They may be a little bit older than you, but I do feel this is some kind of mentorship that's happening here. You learn from them, and they also end up learning from you, or I think requesting your services at some point. And that might sound bonkers to some of you, especially if this is somebody you're really looking up to. But I think you're just going to be that good at what you do. It has to do with this. You really look up to this individual and enjoy their knowledge and what they have to offer in their field and their specialty or their expertise, which is yours as well. And I think they wind up being a little less intimidating or untouchable than you might originally find them. I do think they're quite disciplined. I think they're intelligent. I think they have a lot of knowledge to share. And I really feel that you two are going to get along well and possibly work more closely than you realize. I think this person's helping to connect you to more to your magic and to your creativity. Yeah. Even if they are more of a pragmatic person, I think by following them, what they do, their schedule, their little regimen, their classes, their leadership, I think it just unlocks potential magic and wonder in you. Creativity, everything kind of gets like leveled up here. It's sort of like you're on a video game and you're running through the level and you're just leveling up and leveling up and leveling up. Like if you're playing a role-playing game, for example, and you have to like bump your character's stats up. So this could be gradual, or it's something that kind of comes in spurts. But I think you're going to have access to parts of yourself you never realized that you did before with this person. Like the sword blades here almost look like crystals in their hair. And this is very like crystal-like as well. Almost, yeah, it's like you're a crystal yourself and they're activating what's inside of you. They're letting you see your shine. And that's almost very similar to what's happening over here. This Knight of Wands person, this member of your soul family, this is really interesting. This feels like another mentor or work connection, but there's a strong possibility also of romance here or a super strong friendship vibe on top of this working. And I feel like this person really, it could be just like a strong attraction. I think this person really opens your eyes to all the wondrous possibilities in life, and it's like you truly see your own value for the first time. And that change is reflected in how you hold yourself with others going forward. Yeah. They feel dynamic and enthusiastic. They're a super supportive person. Definitely. Very interested in people, very others oriented, and a wonderful cheerleader for you. I think there's someone who makes you feel like you're seeing the world clearly for the very first time in a long period of time. Now, they may be on the young side, or this is a newer experience for you because it feels quite fresh to me. Even if this is not a romance, your talks are something that you look forward to. Your connection is something you look forward to. You look forward to like hearing from them or texts, whatever it is that you're doing to connect. Even if it's like a work thing, like a conference call, it just lifts your heart a little bit. And I think this person will always have a special place in your heart, no matter the duration of your experience. Yeah. Even if it's a shorter thing or if it's a longer thing, this person, it's like my heart is beating a little faster with them. Okay, I do want to take a look at the other cards here to see what we can learn about these particular relationships. So we're going to be working with the Pixie deck next and to discover where we might meet these individuals. Okay, so first we have mirrors. That's number 24. I'm going to put that with the 8 of Swords. Wish. And I want to put this is with the 10 of Pentacles. If this shoe fits, number 38. We're going to go here. And mic time, number 17. All right, the images are so fun on these. I love the artwork. Okay, so 24 mirrors. So I think as mentioned before, this 8 of Swords person comes to you at a time when you are ready to do the inner work and to see things like the way we look in a mirror as they truly are. And so your connection has everything to do with your readiness and your mindset whenever this happens. Yeah, this is about your developing connection to yourself, about lowering any facades or masks that you have in place, and seeing yourself with the eyes of clarity. Yeah, that you deserve. And it could be your age 24, it could be 42. That could be an arbitrary number. Because again, it has really everything to do with, how your inner garden is growing and your readiness, your willingness to kind of lay down any constructs that are around you, maybe, and yeah, be vulnerable. Your willingness to be vulnerable, to blindfold yourself and just say, okay, I'm here, I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's do this work. So this is more about your energy being the invitation as to when you're going to meet them, or you even possibly reaching out to this particular individual and finding them in some way. And that could be online. Sometimes I think of swords as being like communication or technology. And so it could be that's like you're doing research and like, oh, I would like to work with this coach, or I'd like to work with this particular therapist or this individual that I've noticed. Okay. So yeah, this is a little ethereal. Again, we have wish. Got a rainbow back here. Looks like a birthday cake. Clouds in the sky, and we have the number 21. So as I mentioned before, this group has more of that like divine push, I think. It's putting you together. It does feel a little orchestrated. I don't think in this connection there's as much free will involved here, because it feels like the universe saying that you are going to meet the soul family regardless of what you do or do not do. So I think to try and pinpoint these individuals, I would just be on the lookout for any kind of shared experience. It could be something like a birthday party. I don't know, going on a cruise even. You could meet people that way. And again, yeah, we've got the number 21 here. So like someone's 21st birthday. Just something big that has that kind of energy behind it, and just know that this is another one you just have to trust. Things are going to unfold the way that they're meant to. Like, you don't need to chase the rainbow. It's just going to happen as it is meant to happen. And then I think you're going to be having more friends and connections in this group than you realized possible, which feels really nice. So if the shoe fits. So this is for our Four of Swords person. And again, this is a situation that when you know, you'll know. I think all signs will be pointing to yes in this instance. Things will naturally be in alignment for you. There's not going to be a question. The opportunity presents itself. It's possible this individual could be in their 30s. You might be in your 30s, or you may be 38. They could be 38. This person could be present as being a little elevated, or you may see them in that way as being a bit above you, or you may again feel like this sense of awe around them, I'm thinking. But I think you're going to find that they're much more practical than you realize in group 4. I think you have a lot more in common than you think, and they're definitely, this relationship's taking you to new heights. Look at that, we've got platform shoes and we got tall hair here. There's a lot going on. Yeah, things are going to be a lot bigger for you after meeting this individual. Even if you're doing things that feel a little scary to you or a little bit different, there's going to be a nice glow up after this for you. Or a nice glow up with this person. And this could be a long-term kind of friendship. You may not always be talking to one another, but I feel like you could be checking in periodically, sporadically with them. And it's always nice to hear from that person and that individual. Okay, mic time. This one's cute. So I think you could possibly meet this person when you're a bit younger, or they're a bit younger, or both of you are young. You may meet them when you have some kind of also a public platform, which could be online. So this to me then would speak of having a little experience in something if you've got a platform like that. Yeah, and if you've got engagement with people. Or you might meet at some type of speaking engagement. Maybe you're speaking, maybe they're speaking. Maybe it's just something that you're both enjoying, almost like a networking thing. And I'm getting a feeling also like you two might be waiting in line somewhere and you just end up striking up a conversation. I do think, look at how those colors match. Wow. Yeah. I think things are going to be easy between the two of you. You match in a lot of ways. You mirror each other. There may also be a shared love of music, or you might meet at some kind of musical event or a concert. Maybe that's something that you have in common. But I think they really do help tease the confidence out of you that you need to truly shine at what you do. It's almost like we're working in tandem with that individual, or this is part of the growth. It's like you meet one person and then you meet the other, vice versa. I do almost feel though, and I know I said younger here, but with energy, it almost feels like this person might be first and then this individual. It's possible maybe you know this person when you're young and then you connect again when you're older too. And that's not going to be for everybody, but yeah. This is just a remarkable relationship, I think. I'm still getting that fluttery feeling with this particular one. All right, let's move into what you and your soul family members teach one another, or what your connection's about. And the first card we have is Abundance. That one is so pretty. Focus. Protection. And freedom. I really like these cards. You have nice soul family members. Okay, so your Eight of Swords and the Mirrors and the Abundance soul family member here. Let's look at this. So the energy for this individual, that one that's helping you, it's really strong. And this feels like once you're through doing the inner work with this individual, your entire perspective on life changes. The blindfold comes off and you're able to see all that's around you with a set of fresh eyes. You know, where things once looked barren or desolate, there is just an abundance of new life and growth for you. And it's not just a lesson of abundance, but the soul family member is teaching you about perspective as well. It's not a lesson that's going to be undone either. This is something that it's permanent. Like, you're not going to get back to that point where you've got those barriers up anymore, or I want to say like false front, like a false facade. It's like dismantling the ego. And so the grounds that you're creating, like, they're fertile from now on. These flowers will always be coming back. There's always going to be new things to explore and look at. And so it feels like your lens in life is totally cleaned off, and it's new and it's bright and it's beautiful. And so this person has this soul family member has a very strong impact on you going forward. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the focus card now. So this is for that interesting group. So I think that the lessons we have here may have to do also with perspective. Like being able to see the beauty in all things and focusing on desires. And so reframing the view if things aren't quite as sunny all the time as one might wish. It's kind of like what we just talked about here, learning to reframe things. And the beautiful thing here is that you have a lot of support with this particular soul family group because there's so many of you in it. And I think you can easily find someone to lean on. There's just commonalities with you guys. There also is a lesson in putting your attention on what it is that you desire. So it's interesting to me how this is related to a group, but you're all there to support one another in this understanding. So for some of you, I mean, this almost could be like a prayer group, or it's a manifesting group. You know, both the focus card here and this wish card have this similarly like pastel kind of colored background here. And it's kind of like this ethereal feel, which to me again indicates a push from the other side. I'd be really curious to hear more about this from you, because I feel like this could apply to so many different types of people and different things and different connections that we haven't even dreamed of. And so I'd really like to know what that is for you if you're willing to share that in the comment box. Okay, so our Four of Swords person, we have for our lesson protection. And so I think this connection, it almost feels like this person is teaching you or showing you how powerful you can be. It's one of the things that draws you into them initially because they are that way. That's how you see them. And it's a strong reason why you admire them. So I think the lessons with you may be about gathering that strength, group 4, and organizing yourself and your resources. Showing others your talents within a particular skill set. And I feel like when you collaborate with this individual, you're going to feel really strong afterward. You're going to feel really powerful. I think you're going to feel very proud of yourself and what you have achieved. And this individual soul family member's relationship with you has a big impact on the way in which you see yourself in relationship to strengths and as a leader or expert in an area like career or hobbies, your trade, just your general interests. So I think you two feel like you will have a mutual kind of respect after you get to know them a little bit better. And so there's less of this elevated feeling we were talking about before. And you're more on an even ground, which feels like it's a very pleasant kind of relationship. And again, it can be something that's sustainable, I think, as well. Like, it's just, there's a mutual kind of admiration there, which, again, I think if you're hearing this and you know who this is, you're going to be surprised about that. But you have a lot to offer here, group 4, and you don't want to sell yourself short, because I think there's a lot of people here who see your potential, but I think you're a little hard on yourselves. Okay, and our lessons for our Knight of Wands person, our mic time person, is freedom. So I think this relationship has a very mutual kind of learning that's happening that's centered around this idea of freedom. It's a cute card. And so what that means to me is that I think they open your eyes to all the ways that you are an amazing human being. And you also teach them about being more free with emotions. Because to me, they do feel a little tad buttoned up, or they may be really organized like a Virgo or a Capricorn might be. And I think you show them a more free flowing and like a gentle and connected way of being open to new experiences and emotions. And it's not that they are, just because they appear buttoned up, that's just one aspect. I think they naturally are tapped into this, but you're just allowing it to blossom a little bit more and relax a little bit more. I think you're both so elevated in this particular experience, and this relationship just, it has a really positive and very kind of exciting feeling and vibration attached to it, group 4. So I think this member of your soul family is really going to be standing out for you, very much so. All of these members have very unique energies to them. While there is a strong emphasis on mentorship or leadership here compared to the other groups, there is a lot of warmth here as well. You've got a lot going on for you, definitely. And I'm really, really curious about this 10 of Pentacles group. So group 4, I am going to end your reading here, because those are the members of your soul family who are popping through for you today. Thank you so much for being here with us. And as always, sending you big love and gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. If you're comfortable, tell us a little bit about your soul family in the comment box below if you're feeling inclined, because we would absolutely love to hear your stories. And if you felt this video was of value or entertaining, please consider liking the video and sharing it with others who may also enjoy it. And if you haven't yet, please think about subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads if that is something that you're into. It was a pleasure reading for you, and I am sending you my love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.